the woman outside my office. My name is Emily Carter, and at 22 years old, my life had become painfully predictable. I worked long hours at a large retail company in Chicago. Most days were filled with endless emails, stressful meetings, and coworkers pretending to be friends. Every afternoon, I ate lunch alone. That's when I first noticed her. An elderly woman sat quietly on a bench across from our office building. Her clothes were worn, and beside her was an old suitcase that looked almost as tired as she did. People walked past without looking at her. Some employees made jokes. Others acted like she didn't exist. I tried to ignore it, but something about her eyes stopped me. One rainy afternoon, I bought an extra sandwich and walked over to her. "Would you like some lunch?" I asked nervously. She looked surprised. Then she smiled. "Thank you, sweetheart," she said softly. Most people only see what they want to see. From that day on, I spent part of my lunch break with her. Her name was Margaret. She never complained. She never asked for money. She simply enjoyed talking. Meanwhile, the people at work thought I had lost my mind. My manager laughed. My coworkers whispered behind my back. "Emily's making friends with homeless people now," one of them joked. I ignored them, because every time I sat with Margaret, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: peace. Then one afternoon, as I stood up to return to work, Margaret grabbed my hand. Her expression changed. For the first time since I met her, she looked serious. And then she said 7 words that sent chills down my spine. "Everything is about to change, Emily." I froze, because I had never told her my name. Everyone laughed at me. I couldn't stop thinking about what Margaret had said. "Everything is about to change, Emily." And somehow, she knew my name. I wanted answers, but whenever I asked her how she knew me, she would simply smile. "You'll understand soon enough," she told me. Over the next few weeks, spending time with Margaret became the best part of my day. We talked about life, about regrets, about dreams. She listened in a way nobody else ever had. But inside the office, things were different. People laughed. My coworkers whispered whenever I walked by. "Emily's got a new best friend," Sarah joked. Even my manager rolled his eyes. "Maybe you should focus on your career instead of charity work," he said. Their words hurt. But Margaret never let me feel ashamed. "Never be embarrassed for having a kind heart," she told me. "It's rarer than you think." Then, one Monday morning, everything changed. An urgent email appeared in everyone's inbox. Mandatory meeting. Attendance required. Nobody knew what was happening. Rumors spread through the office. Layoffs, a merger, a new CEO. As hundreds of employees gathered in the conference hall, our CEO stepped onto the stage. His voice trembled. "Ladies and gentlemen, today, I have the honor of introducing the founder of this company and its new owner." The room fell silent. Then the doors opened, and I nearly dropped to the floor. Walking into the room was Margaret, the same woman everyone had ignored, the same woman they had laughed at. Shocked gasps filled the room. And then Margaret looked directly at me. She smiled, and said something that left me completely speechless. "Emily, it's time we talked about your father." My father? The man who had died 15 years ago, or at least, that's what I had always believed. The truth I never expected. The entire room fell silent. Everyone who had laughed at Margaret sat frozen in shock. I could barely breathe. "My father," I whispered. Margaret nodded. After the meeting, she invited me into her office. Then she showed me an old photograph. Tears filled my eyes. Standing beside a much younger Margaret was my father. "He wasn't just my friend," she said softly. "He helped me build this company from nothing." I stared at the picture in disbelief. "But he died 15 years ago." Margaret smiled sadly. "Yes," she said. "And before he passed away, he made me promise something." She opened a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. It was addressed to me. My hands shook as I read his words. He wrote about how proud he was of me. He wrote that success meant nothing without kindness. And he asked Margaret to watch over me until the day I was ready. Tears streamed down my face. All those years, I thought I had lost everything. But somehow, my father's love had never left me. Then Margaret reached across the desk and gently held my hand. "Emily, Your kindness reminded me of him, she said. You helped me when you thought I had nothing to offer. That's why I know you're ready. A week later, Margaret announced a new leadership program and offered me an opportunity I never imagined possible. Meanwhile, the people who had mocked others learned a lesson they would never forget. And as I looked at my father's letter one more time, I finally understood something. Kindness is never wasted, because sometimes the people the world ignores are the ones who change your life forever. And in that moment, I realized something else. My father had never truly left me. He had simply found another way to keep his promise.